everyone have their own path in life, on what they're doing, what they're trying to do. Everyone has a story. Everyone takes a different way to get to where they want to get in life, whether it's an uphill battle, whether it was easy, whether it was hard. You look around the league, you get guys with success stories all the time on how they got to the NFL and how they made it to where they are today. I took a road less traveled, Maybe guys had more obstacles than me, and might be vice versa. It was a lot of people that was in and out my life. I know a lot of people say, they did this with me, they threw a ball to me, they did that with me. And at the end of the day, I earned my spot. Nobody put me in.
Well, where we at right now is it's called the 4th Ward. In the middle of Paterson, New Jersey. It's real rough out here. You know what I'm saying? And this little, I'm gonna say, a quarter of a square mile. This is real rough. Like, it's a bunch of gangs out here, bunch of guns, drug dealing.
That's school 6 right there. That's where
That was part of the school right there.
That's where I went elementary school right here. School number 6. You go in the front. Right here. That's the playground. We should go play. This is where we started playing football right here. I'm Mike Adams, Pops. That's what my nickname my grandmother gave me. I had it ever since I was born.
We always look at Papa on TV, right, in Spanish. So I said, Pop, you enjoy the Spanish? He said, yeah, right? So he started eating Spanish, so we started calling him Pop.
Seven of us, 6 boys, 1 girl, raised with a single mother and grandmother. Some of the challenges from my earlier childhood, just that, the crowdedness in the house. It was a lot of us in the house.
As a child, it was fun. But I know they went through it as adults, dealing with us, all us in one little area, get your ass whooped all the time for everything. If he do something, we all get our ass whooped. That's how it was. And it was a lot of us. We all grew up together, cousins, brothers, sisters. It was like 13 of us.
Well, this is where it all started, right here on Godwin Ave, 89 Godwin to be exact. I'm about to go upstairs, look around, see what it's like. Just to go back to, where I grew up and how it was, and then let's go. Yeah, I think we had the TV right there. Either I got bigger or this got smaller. And this is my room. I used to share this room. My grandmother don't know, but we had curfew. We had to come in the house before dark. I used to sneak out, climb through this window, get on the back porch, go right down them stairs. We had our little trophy case was sitting, where was that? Yeah, the trophy case was sitting like right here, all the trophies and all the accolades we had. We had them all piled up right here. I wasn't, I knew I was good in football, but I just played. I played for fun, which we all do when we were kids, but it was a lot of distractions in high school.
He walked on what we call the picket fence, because he could have fell either side of that fence and ended up in a whole different entire life.
You're dealing with drugs, violence, day in and day out. As soon as you walk out your doorstep, for instance, like Mike, you saw the house today. As soon as you walk out your doorstep, drugs, alcohol, violence is right at your feet. You can't run from it.
All my boys started to lean towards gangs You know, I'm talking about guys, dudes I grew up with. That's like we used to spend the night at each other's house and, you know, play on the same basketball teams, football teams, play street ball with.
You could have went that route. It's right there in front of your face. There's no running from it. And the big thing is the money part. You know, you see other guys your age making money, cars, sneakers, etc.
But senior year, during a football game, I scored 2 touchdowns in the game. I came home next day, Monday morning, you know, I had my first picture in the paper, catching a touchdown pass. That right there was history. I knew what I wanted to do. And it just took one picture in the paper to get me back right. And just to see the smile on my mother's face, yeah, it was priceless. She went to the store. I still remember. She bought every newspaper in the store. No more handouts, no more hand-to-hand, no more doing this. I knew what I wanted to do.
There weren't as many suitors as there should have been, and we were lucky enough that we were able to get them, and really it was just Maine and the University of Delaware.
I'm coming from Brooklyn, he's coming from Paterson. We're up North Jersey and New York, and coming down to Delaware where it's, you know, it's somewhat of a culture shock.
And I grew up in the hood. You see a white guy walking around, most likely he's someone's landlord or he's buying crack. After the first 2 weeks there, I said, I ain't staying here, I'm going home. There's no way I'm staying here. I want to go home, that's it.
And I'm like, you know, it really is not working for me either, but one of the things that we realized was that we had to get ourselves outside of ourselves. As we kind of committed to ourselves to say, okay, let's go through the season, you know. Let's at least go through the season because that's December. So you figure September to December, see how it feels, you know, and then football kind of took over.
Talked about, you heard Holly talk about the hunting and pecking. That was a big hit there.
My senior year came around and I just felt I was in shape. I was in best shape of my life. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to the NFL, I'm doing this.
And the first game in the fourth quarter,
his hip pops out of the socket, his bone popped out of the socket and pops back in at the same time. It was, they pretty much immediately said it was like a Bo Jackson injury. Your career's done, it's a wrap.
And the doctor told me I wasn't gonna play football again. He actually told me that. Don't tell me that. You crazy as hell. Who you talking to? He was serious too, but I wasn't. I wasn't accepting that.
and then the following year, again, Mike was our captain and leader, and it must have been about game 6 or game 7.
I went for another pad, and I jumped it. I saw it the whole time. And we caught it at the same time, and I snatched it from him. And I broke my leg. I'm like, I can't win.
The boy drank a lot of milk and came back for Nova, that last game for the A-10 championship. Came back for Nova.
And then my uncle passed away. Well, yeah, my uncle ended up passing away. And I felt like I was juggling too much. And then later my other uncle passed away, my great uncle. And then my mom's house burned down. And then my mom was diagnosed with cancer. Now, I'm in college. I'm supposed to be going through this. I'm supposed to be having the most fun of my life. This is my senior year. I'm supposed to be going to the NFL, you know.
But during that year, and you talk about dealing with adversity and resilience, to be able to bounce back It sounds good, and it's often easy to speak on it if you're not living it. This young man had to live it, and it's difficult to go to practice and keep on moving and smile and have fun and not let it show, or not let it reflect on your academics or your athletic skills.
That was one of the worst, best years I had. Like everything just falling on me, you know? And, but what you gonna do? I had to handle it. I had to be strong.
In the playoff, we just kind of ran through everybody. You know, like you're coming through our house, you're coming to Delaware, you're coming to UD, you know, and for that piece, it was just a matter of our destinies in our hands, and we wasn't gonna let it go.
Playing during the season, my mom tried to get the game she could, even though she's going through chemo or whatever, and we ended up winning the national championship that year. That was a great experience right there, just winning. Just winning. And I knew she couldn't be there, so it was just like, I finally won, you know? I finally won. I got one. And that was one of the happiest moments. You know, just holding that trophy up, going to war with the guys who supported you all year, through all the stuff that was going on, hip popping out, breaking your leg. Both almost passed away, house burning down, mom got cancer. And that group of guys, they stood by me the whole time, you know, and they rode with me.
Mike Adams had the coverage.
I love every last one of them. But once that was over, it was time for the combine. It was time for the combine. It was time to see if I really had what it takes to go to the NFL. And I trained hard. You know, so had all these scouts coming to see me. I ended up running a 4.32, and they had a 4.7 on my projected. They left. Adam said, "We love you, this and that," blah, blah, blah. I ended up not getting drafted, going free agent. But that May, graduation time, like a couple days before graduation, May 26th, yeah. And my mom passed away. Yeah. And I actually wasn't gonna walk across the stage. I wasn't gonna do it.
And I remember because I didn't know what to do dealing with it. I saw that Pops was bouncing back, but I didn't know what to do. I called my older sister, I said, "Sophia, Pops doesn't even want to walk across the stage for graduation." I remember I had to reach out. I had to use my lifeline. I called my sister and she spoke to Pops and was like, "What would Mom want you to do?"
I'm proud of you. She said she's proud of me. But I had to. I had to. Let her know I did it, you know? I had to.
Once all that adversity came, he just took it and kept going with it. It seemed like it made him stronger, you know. At the same time, it seemed like it made me weaker, you know what I mean, going through all that, because, you know, not just my mother passed, you know, it was my uncles and everybody, so that took a toll on, you know, most of the family, but him, he's strong, you know, stronger than an ox. That's why I look up to him, you know what I mean? That's why that's my big brother.
That was tough. You know, because at the time I still didn't know who my father was. You know, it was just my grandmother now. Ended up walking across the stage, getting my diploma. I was happy. happiest moment ever. And I know she saw it. It ended up going to the San Francisco 49ers. I know she saw that too.
When I see him out there on the field, it just look like it just energized me and make me feel so good. And then when I see him be making touchdowns and stuff, I be like screaming, be hollering, go Pop, go Pop, you know.
And he just wanted an opportunity, that's it. San Francisco gave him the opportunity. Guys asking me this today, why is Mike in the league? How did he last for 10 years? Did not get drafted, he worked his way up from the practice squad.
You know, you couldn't help but be in trouble if you lived in that area in those days. But there are kids who got in trouble and persevered through it, like Mike. And there's others who didn't and let the streets just eat them up. And you know, that's a choice you have to make. There's excuses for it. And a lot of guys have excuses. Guys like Mike don't make excuses.
Who we are right now, who we are.
What can Colts fans expect from you out there on the field this season?
Well, they should expect me to go out and compete for a job, you know. People often ask me how I made it to where I am right now. What was my recipe for success? What's up, bro? Well, I grew up one of 7 kids, raised by a single mother and grandmother. Grew up in the hood. I got in trouble. I learned from my mistakes. College coaches wasn't knocking on my door asking me to come to their school.
Yeah, man. You know it.
Got hurt. Doctors told me I'd never play football again. Wasn't drafted. Never signed a long-term contract. Why? Because they was looking for my replacement. 11 years later, here I am. Still grinding like that kid trying to make it off the practice squad.
That's the goal right there, boy.
Still hungry. My circumstances have defined me. Made me the man I am today. It's just like I tell my kids at my youth football camp back home in Jersey. If you want it, go out and get it. Success is not measured by the amount of money in your bank account or the car you drive, but the impact you make on others and the pride you take in making a better life for yourself and those around you. At the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, did I do the best I can do with what God gave me? And no doubt, keep grinding.
First football has been a blast, you know. I feel like I belong here.
I gotta catch my flight.
I don't want to hear all that. I love you. No, come here. See, I done had enough up there, got up here.
Actually, Pops is a better baseball player than he is a football player, you ask me personally.
I got my man T right here and knowing him forever. Little play status. You know, so whatever. My man right here blocking touchdown.
Yeah.
Watch him.
You know what? Us playing wrestling on a little bed, you know, like a bed with the little flat mat, you know, us watching Hulk Hogan and Big Show and him trying to moves on me inside the house because I was the youngest, I was the baby, you know what I'm saying?
Nephew!
He called everybody nephew. I got so used to him calling everybody nephew, I call him nephew.
Funny stories, we're driving home, Pops turns the heat up while I'm sleeping. pass gas in the car, and that's how I wake up from on our way back home coming up here to Jersey.
I'm going to sell back all this stuff to Mike. If he looks at this, I'm going to sell this back to you, so get your pocketbook ready.